everyone. Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk with my weekly podcast entitled Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, the path to making over $100,000 a year while writing service in the automotive industry today. Because as we're recording this, 20% of you watching this, 20% in the field of writing service are making $100,000 a year or more every year writing service. And you can too, if you continue to listen to me every Thursday when these podcasts come out. Hey, welcome back. We're having a great day here in Southern California. The weather's great. It looks like summer's here. Had the pool open this weekend at the house. Had a little pool party with the family. Just having a great time out here. Business is doing very, very well, and I hope yours is too, and I hope you're having fun and a great life. I'm coming back to you this week with another message that I think you're really going to like, and where it comes from is where the others have come from, and that is from you. I've had quite a few managers and business owners write in and say, you know, I need some help. I need some help. I've got somebody working with me who's a know-it-all. You know, they're good at what they do and they add to the business. They definitely help the business become more prosperous, but you can't teach them anything new, and they're actually going backward in their skill level because they're a know-it-all. So I've been getting a lot of that, and you know, quite frankly, we see that a lot here at Pro Talk. We do a lot of in-store training where we go in and we stand side by side with advisors, coach, critique, role play, and write service. 85% of the time we're on a service drive, in a service business, we're on the service drive again side by side with those people. And you know, I wait every week because I've got a whole bunch of trainers, and I know there's always going to be one or two that call me every week and say, I got that guy, I got that girl. And I know exactly what they mean when they say that. It's a person that either walks up to them and says, you don't have to work with me because I'm great at what I do, and you can't teach me anything because I, been doing this for so long that I've pretty much got it down, and I lead the board in all categories. So I know the other guys need it and the other gals need it, so you can work with them, but don't worry about working with me because I don't need the help. Or they simply ignore us, okay? And I experience it myself in my workshops. I mean, there's not many workshops, whether it's a private one or a public one, where somebody's not sitting there with their arms crossed, big frown on their face because they'd rather be any place other than in that workshop because they know it all. So even though this message is to the know-it-alls out there, my fear is that they're not watching because they wouldn't watch stuff like this because they know it all. So if you have one of these people you're working with, you want to try and help them, get them to sit down for the next 10 or 15 minutes and listen to my message here, because I think it'll help them. And if nothing else, you'll have something that you can share with them to help them become no longer a know-it-all. So, again, the person I'm talking about here is the one that when we get to the service drives either just totally ignores us because they know it all, or tell us not to bother them because they know it all, or they come to one of my workshops and they sit there with a big frown on their face, their legs stretched out, arms crossed, rolling their eyes throughout the whole presentation. So let's take a look. If you're one of these people, let's take a look at what you are telling those around you. And let's start with the business owner. Here's what you're doing and saying to the business owner. You're telling your business owner that you know more than they do. That, hey, I know so much about what I'm doing. I know more than they do. And you know what? You may, because there's not very many business owners that write service. But you know what? The business owner is basing their decision to send you to training or have somebody come in and train you or give you this new information based on information you may never see. They're going to meetings and they're seeing people that are doing as good or better than you. And when they're in these meetings or they're reading these articles and they're going over this data and they see people are doing better than you, they ask questions. What are these people doing? How are they doing it? And what's making them so much better than my best person? And so what they're doing is they're bringing that knowledge that's going to make you better to you. Just because they've never done the job and just because you may know more about the job doesn't mean that you see all the data they do. So you're telling them that you think you know more than them, and that's never a good thing to tell your owner. You're also telling your business owner that you do not appreciate them. I don't appreciate you coming into my territory and telling me how to do a better job. And whenever you tell your business owner that you don't appreciate them, it's not good. I mean, if a business owner or even a manager brings you training or brings you a new idea, again, it could be based on, it's probably based on information that you're not seeing. They've gone to a meeting, they've read an article where somebody's doing better than you, Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All, and they're trying to show that, they're trying to give you that information is what they're trying to do. What they're doing is they're seeing that maybe some of your numbers are not as good as they could be, and so they're just trying to help you out. And when you show a disappreciation, they don't like it. I mean, think of your kids. If you have kids and you're one of these know-it-all people, you go to your kids and you tell them, hey, look, here's what I think you should do based on this, and they tell you no, you don't feel appreciated, and you're doing the same thing. And what you're also telling them is, your business owner and your service, and maybe your managers are, is that you're telling them that you're unwilling to change. And so when you're telling them that you're unwilling to change, you're telling them you're unwilling to grow. And both of those things, the unwillingness to change and the unwillingness to grow, is the first step to putting yourself out of business. Now, I will agree with you that sometimes you're going to get ideas that won't work, or they won't work in whole. But you won't know until you try it. Let me give you an example, because we had this happen here recently. I was sitting at my desk, and I'd realized that we'd gotten away from surveying our customers. What do our customers really think of us? What do our customers really think of our workshops? What do they really think of my trainers? Are my trainers doing what they're supposed to do? So I discussed this in one of our meetings, and we came up with the idea, but it was driven by me, that maybe we should start surveying our customers. Now, I will tell you this. One of the trainers and a couple of our salespeople said, I think it's a good idea to survey new people, but I don't know if I would survey all of our people. Well, I overrode their decision. I said, well, I want to know what everybody thinks. If somebody's done business with us for 10 years, I want to know what they think. They've got 10 years to compare us to the past. If they're brand new, of course I want to know what they're doing. So we put a hard and fast rule in that we were going to survey every one of our customers every week. And you know what? It worked in part, but it didn't work in whole. Because what these two people said was, in our meeting, when they said, hey, look, I think some of our long-standing customers, they like us, so they wouldn't keep signing up for us. So why survey them? And that's basically what those type of customers said. They said, look, I've been doing business with you for 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. If I didn't like you and didn't think you were doing your job, I wouldn't have you back. So we discovered that surveying everybody, that part of the idea didn't work, but surveying the new people that had never done business with us, they loved it, and we loved it because we got honest feedback. And I will tell you, brag here for a second, so far all the surveys we've gotten, knock on wood, the surveys we've gotten is people love us and say we're hitting it at all points. So, but you'll never know if an idea is going to work or if it's going to work in whole and part unless you try it, okay? Unless you try it. Now, let's go on to your teammates, because teammates that have to work with Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All do not like working with Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All. But before I give you some information there that's going to help you, I want to tell you about some workshops we've got coming up. Now, next week, we've got one in Washington, D.C. I think we still have a few seats left, so it's not too late. Get yourself signed up. I will be there. I will be teaching the class. It may be sold out, but I think we have a few seats left. I was looking this morning. We're going to show you how to get perfect survey scores, how to get customer retention above 85% within 9 months. We're going to show you how to get an instant 5/10. We're going to show you who your new customer is. We're going to get rid of these heat cases. We're going to take this job that you go to every day and show you how it's truly a career. I'm going to be there. I want you there. Get yourself signed up. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. The 16th and 17th, next Wednesday and Thursday. Be there. This next fall, we're going to Toronto, and I'm not supposed to tell you this yet, but we've also got some other dates set up for the fall. I won't give you the dates, but I tell you, I know that's been confirmed. We're going to Phoenix. We're going to Atlanta. I know that is a fact, and then we're going to announce probably a couple of other cities as well. Call us up at 1-800-248-2931. 1-800-248-2931, and anybody that answers that phone can get you signed up, or you go to automotiveservicetraining.com, automotiveservicetraining.com. You can register there online. I also want to tell you about this book I have right here called Write Service and Write Your Own Paycheck. It also has a video program with it. It will show you how to get to $100,000 a year with perfect survey scores and retention that exceeds 85%. Got the book. It's available on Amazon.com, or you can call us here at Pro Talk with those numbers I gave you a second ago, or visit our website and get not only the book, but you can also get the video training program. In this other book, what I've learned from attending over 3,500 Indy 500s is literally turning into a national bestseller. I got some great news today. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is going to be offering it here in the next day or so in their gift shops at the Track Museum and different places around the track. You can get it, again, at Amazon.com, or you can call us. We'll do that. You want to sign one? Call us. I'll sign one and send it to you. What I've learned about attending over 35 Indy 500s, lessons in sales, lessons in management, motivation, and the like. Getting a lot of responses for a lot of fun with that book right there. There's a video program coming out with it as well. But back to this. So we're dealing with somebody that you work with, and they're Mr. or Mrs. Know-It-All. Now I'm talking to you, Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All. I told you what you're telling your business owners, and I'm telling you how you're messing yourself up by being Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All, refusing to learn. The biggest problem is you're telling people that you're unwilling to change, unwilling to grow, which is the first step to putting yourself out of business. But let me tell you what your coworkers think of you. Let me tell you what your coworkers, what you're telling them. You're telling your coworkers and your teammates that you're better than they are and you're superior. That you're so good that you're better than them that you don't have to sit through the class. You don't have to read the manual. You don't have to watch the stuff online because I'm better than you. And you may be better than because you have a more developed skill set, but it doesn't mean that you know everything. I mean, I'll never forget one time because, see, I used to be Mr. Know-It-All. I'll never forget one time I was working at a place and they brought in some phone training. Now, you got to understand, I was leading the board in all categories. I was a master at closing deals over the telephone. Nobody did it better than me, so I refused the training they bought. I refused to listen to it. I refused to get involved. And everybody just kind of rolled their eyes. He's being a Jeff again, right? Type of thing. So I didn't go to the classes. They did. Guess what happened? They picked up some techniques that even I didn't know, Mr. Know-It-All, and they started not only matching me tit for tat on the phone calls and their ability to sell, they started surpassing me. So guess what it did? It got me involved in the training, and that's what I learned, that being a know-it-all is the first step to being unemployed. These people started beating me, right? And it wasn't just about being the #1 person. What I learned was there was better ways to do things. Things did evolve, things did change, and there are ways to improve. So I went through the training and I increased my skill, and from that point forward, every single day I get out of bed, I learn something new because I make it my goal to learn something new every day about some aspect, whether it's business or personal, private, whatever. So what you're telling your team members is that you're superior to them, and you're not. You're telling your service customers, okay? What you're telling your customers is that you're not willing to change. Customers like new. Now, customers go back to businesses because of the sameness. They go back because of your personality, but they also look for better ways to do things because they're approached nonstop from every angle they can be every day with people trying to steal your customers because they have a better way. Right now, as we're sitting here, we are watching a business that's been in business for over 110 years go away because they think they know it all. Who am I talking about? Yellow Cab. Yellow Cab is going to be gone, my prediction is, within 5 years, and here's why. They refuse to change. They think they know it all. You see, Yellow Cab thinks a guy like me who travels all the time is going to want to go back to what I used to do and fly into a place like Chicago in the middle of January when it's 5 degrees outside with a 10-mile-an-hour wind, fly into Chicago, grab my bags, go outside in the elements, and stand in a line, a taxi line that usually is 30 or 40 minutes long, stand there in the cold, and then when I get to the front of that line, get in a taxi that's not been well maintained, that's usually not clean, that's got a plexiglass window between me and the driver that screams, "This is not safe," okay? And they don't have any GPS system, then I'm going to want to do that, let this person take me to where I need to go, then when I get there, grab my own bags out of the car and I have to pay this person cash. I don't even know him. I just got a car that has plexiglass in it, for crying out loud. They think I'm going to go back to that instead of flying into a place like Chicago in January when it's 5 degrees outside, grabbing my bags and go upstairs to a climate-controlled area of the building still inside and pull up an app that says Lyft or Uber, push that, select a car, the type of car I want, see how many minutes it's going to take to get there, have that driver communicate with me the whole time they're coming, and I can watch them on a map on my phone, see them approaching, and when they approach just a minute before, walk out with my bags where they will take my bags, put it in a clean, well-maintained car, put me in a car that's comfortable, that's warm, that's got nice music in it, offer me a bottle of water, take me to where I want to go. Once I get there, take the bags out of their clean car, and I don't have to exchange money because it's going to be automatically charged to a phone. You see, Yellow Cab, they know it all. They refuse to believe that I'm going to continue to do that, but instead want to go back to the way they do it. Instead of spending what it would be, $250,000 on a new app, okay? They could dominate this market. They could take Uber and they could take Lyft and put them out of business, but they know it all. They refuse to change. They refuse to grow, and they're going to go out of business. You watch, because that's what happens to know-it-alls. Now, let me read just a couple of things to you here, Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All. Some things that I think that you might find interesting. John Wooden, the famous college basketball coach, says this: "It's what you learn after you know it all that counts." John Wooden said that, okay? I know it, and here's what Demetri Martin said, a very famous comedian. If you're not seeing him, watch him, he's funny. A know-it-all is a person who knows everything except how annoying they are to everyone else. I think that's a good quote. How about this one from Malcolm Forbes? That's a guy that's got some weight behind him. I mean, he's a billionaire. He said, "The dumbest people I know are those who know it all." Or how about this one from Harry Truman? The only things worth knowing are the things you learn after you know it all. You know, president, he was a very effective president. And then finally, actor Christopher Jones, he said, the biggest idiot you'll meet in life will be the person that thinks they know it all. See, that's what people think about know-it-all, because they were probably like me and they knew it all at one time as well and realized they didn't know it all, because when you think you know it all and you refuse to get information, it means you refuse to change, you refuse to grow, and you're going to put yourself out of business. Don't be like Yellow Cab. So in the end, people are not impressed when they see you with your arms crossed. In fact, most are angry that you're there. I see that in the workshops. They're not impressed when you come in and you stretch your feet out and you cross your arms and you sit there with a big smug frown on your face. As a matter of fact, they're angry that you're there, and if they work with you and side by side, they usually come up to a presenter like me and apologize for you. They apologize for you. And as far as being the presenter in a class, I can only assume most presenters like me, I'm not intimidated when you sit there in the front row with your arms crossed and you've got a big smug look on your face and frowning. I'm not intimidated when you make smart-ass comments, okay, because there's one of you in every group I have of 70 people. As a matter of fact, we simply are not intimidated or at all annoyed by you, because by that point we've already been paid, you know, so look at it that way. So in closing, know this, because know that every day, and know that what I'm trying to do here is this, okay? And if you're still listening, because if you're know-it-all, you may have either not listening or maybe you've already checked out. But know this, I'm giving you this message because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you open your mind and learn and grow and be a better person. I'm trying to show you how to be more prosperous and how to be more successful. And most importantly, I'm trying to help you be liked, because when you're a know-it-all, people don't like you. Your business owner doesn't like you. As a matter of fact, the only thing that's true about the people that know it all is you're being tolerated until somebody else comes along that doesn't know it all. Hey, my name is Jeff Cowan from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and I hope you enjoyed this message. And for those of you that requested that message, I hope that's what you wanted. If it's not, let me know, and if it is, let me know as well. But I'll be back next week. I'm going to start a new series called The Myths of Writing Service. You're going to love this. I've done it before, but it is great. People like it. I've updated it, so come back to that next Thursday. And in the meantime, call us at 1-800-248-2931. Tell us what you think of us and ask us what we do. We'd love to help you out. But between this week and next week, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go out and help as many as customers as you can. Get them excited about your product, so excited that they buy your product, give you a perfect survey score, they come back, so you get that customer retention, you get that commission that's going to allow you to live the life you so deserve, making 6 figures, because you deserve it. Because I can tell you this, between now and next week, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Make it a great week. It's springtime. It's May in the good old United States of America. See you next week. Take care.